but the question of who gets to be an American and what an American is and what an American looks like actually fosters debate across this country, not just in Washington, and also fosters preconceptions about what color, religion, background make you an American. One man is challenging the stereotype of what a traditional or typical American looks like. Cartoonist, software analyst, and Sikh American Vishwajit Singh. He dressed up as Captain America, complete with blue turban, and took to the streets of New York, engineering sometimes hilarious and sometimes heartbreaking responses. Vishwajit Singh joins me now here this morning. So nice to have you.
Pleasure is mine, yeah.
So tell me, what is this project that you did, this Captain America? Why? What was the motivation for you?
Well, I'm an editorial cartoonist. I've never worn a costume until I did this. A couple of years ago, I went to the Comic-Con in New York City for the first time, and a photographer, Fiona Booth, was trying to capture me as part of her Six in America photo essay. So she came in and she saw this poster I had created with Captain America because the movie had come out that year, and I'm thinking, hey, you know what, I got to have something new to capture people's attention. So I drew a Captain America in a turban and a beard and had a little catchy caption that was based on my experience, basically saying, hey, take it easy, it's just a turban. Underneath is my long and short hair. Now let's kick some intolerant ass.
Well, okay, and so part of what I love about how you go to kick the intolerant behind is actually by doing it through the brain. So I read that you wrote to make fresh neural connections in our collective consciousness, to leave a new image on the hard drive of that boy, any girl's mind. Tell me about that idea of shifting our idea about who Captain America can be.
Yeah, because I mean, what happens is, I think and this happens in all communities, we tend to see certain groups as the other. You know, this is not my community. And I know, especially with turbans and beards, especially since 9/11, people look at me and they just go, you cannot be from here. And I always get asked the question, where are you from? I'm from here. But then the second question is, where are you from, though? So it always goes down to, where are you from? And I'm like, I'm born here. I'm an American.
Yes.
So that's kind of where it came from, and I wanted to mess with people's perception. And this is not just about Sikhs. It's really about any community. This whole notion we have, that's every generation we have something called the other, right? Somebody who doesn't belong in America. So that's what I was messing with.
So Vishwajit, you are an American born here, part of how you can embody Captain America. But it does feel to me, the stories feel connected to me, Raul, in part on the immigration story, because part of the pushback here is a narrative about not these immigrants, right? It is very particular. You know, Chloe, we've done this before. Like, this kind of immigrant, sure, fine, no problem. She's you know, blue-eyed and a white woman. So yes, that's what we meant when we meant American immigrants. But not these kinds of immigrants who are brown-skinned and Spanish-speaking from another part of the world.
Right, and it is absolutely connected. And in fact, what you're saying about your experiences going out as Captain America and being asked, you know, where are you from? I would say pretty much all Latino, Asian American people experience that same thing of where are you from, followed by where are you from. Really?
Yes,
like,
right.
Everyone knows that. I mean, it is true, getting back to the immigration, that 50 years ago, the top countries for immigration, remember we were talking about LBJ's legacy before he redid the Immigration Act. The top countries that sending immigrants here were the UK, Ireland, and Germany. Yep. Now it's the Philippines, Mexico, Dominican Republic, and China. So we see that demographic shift, and as a result of that shift, there's this churn in public attitudes where people are still, I think there's much of the public is still conflicted about who is the other, because even the notion of who is a minority has changed thanks to just demographic changes, you know, in numbers. So now I think we're in a period of where that's all conflicted in the public consciousness, just who is a minority, who is the majority, who belongs, and who doesn't, and it's not done.
Let me ask you one last question here. Were children any different in their ability to imagine you as Captain America than adults were? Were they more open in those neural
Absolutely, unanimously. Every kid that I saw, they don't care about my turban and beard. In fact, some of them are like, wow, this is really cool. So they don't have the political, social, cultural filters that we learn as we grow up. So they look at me just as a human being, and so they're thinking, okay, you're skinny, so maybe, you know, put on a little weight. And that's good, because they're very honest. And even when they ask me a question about what is that thing, because they don't have to call it a turban, it's not malicious, it's not fearful, it's just curious. It's like, hey, what is that? So it gives me hope that, you know, our kids, they're ready for Captain America in a comic book. It's the adults who said, I don't know.
Yes, that's right. And of course, we of course then teach them very carefully, as the song from South Pacific tells us, right? We teach them carefully to have those feelings. Thank you so much, Vishwajit Singh.